Hey guys, thank you so much for the questions. I have questions I can do video on. Awesome. I forgot to write down who you are, but somebody asked me how does Homewood compare to Renfrew? And in my opinion, they're completely different. Looking back and comparing them now as I was before treatment, it's hard because to me, I would have said Renfrew probably wasn't the best program. And I don't think it's the program itself. I think it was me at the time of going to Renfrew. I definitely wasn't ready looking back compared to now. I think at Renfrew I was trying to keep some parts of the disorder and get rid of others, and yeah, like I wasn't completely committed to recovery and having to give up every behavior in order to recover. And I don't think I had that mentality going in, but the program itself was okay. I really like Homewood much better. Why the program's set up, it's much more structured, and I like the DBT focus groups. Basically, Homewood was everything was based around the DBT model of which is dialectical behavior therapy. It had some CBT issues, but Homewood was kind of a mix of everything and a little dabble of each. But I like how this was structured basically all on DBT based learning. I've never done an in-depth DBT course, and I'm actually looking into doing one because I think it's really helpful not only for the eating disorder but for the bipolar and borderline personality and all that it was designed to treat. So, but it was really the skills I could put into practice and use, and they really worked. Renfrew, the down part of looking back is that because it's hard because Homewood doesn't really treat binge eating disorder or all disorders. They only had a main focus on anorexia and bulimia, but Renfrew treated all aspects of eating disorders. But Renfrew had this weird thing where they wanted me to lose weight while I was there to get to a healthy point. They almost expected me to lose weight, and it kind of set me up to, like, I remember one day I had been weighed wrong, and someone had actually wrote the number wrong, but ended up that they said I was gaining weight, and they said I was lying and I must have been sneaking food because I wasn't losing weight continuously. And then compared to Homewood, where I didn't know my weight at all, um, I wasn't blind weight at Renfrew. I could see my weight at Renfrew. Where Homewood, I had no idea what my weight did. I didn't know my weight going into the program. And I still don't know my weight 3.5 months later. I still don't know where it is. I go based on my clothes, and they're all fitting bigger, and my face seems smaller. So I'm assuming they did kind of tell me secretly, told my mom that I had lost weight during the homework program. Didn't tell me any numbers, but I had lost. It wasn't just to reassure me that I wasn't doing some crazy weight gain on eating all this food. So there's a lot of differences. I think Homewood was much more structured, much more rules. Um, Very much like school. You had class, meal, class, snack, class, dinner. Lunch, dinner, class, snack, class, and dinner again, and then snack again. So it was much more structured, and I liked it much better. Where I found at Renfrew, I had much more downtime, and homework really wasn't. You could do homework, but it wasn't like it was mandatory. Where Homewood kind of never really said it was mandatory, but they kind of expect you to do your homework. And we went over it in class, so you kind of had to do it. So it was kind of nice to know that I had to put the work in to get what I wanted. So Homewood never did accept veganism. They do accept vegetarian. There was always a vegetarian option for your meal, and a meat option. But I personally have never seen any treatment center that accepts veganism. Um, at least not, I'm not aware of any that out there that do. I know Renfrew does have a kosher I think there is kosher options for all areas, but I know Renfrew in the States has a big section for kosher in the Jewish. So I know that. Someone also asked, is there division between people that are self-pay and people that are insurance or OHIP covered? No, and we were all together. It didn't make a difference. Some were roommates. I don't think they really tell you how anyone is paying. It's basically if you ask somebody and they tell you. But no, no one treated you any differently. I did have a little bit of a question for Homewood. I don't know whether I'm never gonna find out, but it was a pattern that we saw while I was there, and a couple of people had figured out that people on OHIP covered beds very rarely got held back unless they were on weight gain. If you were not on weight gain model and happened to be in OHIP bed, that they didn't hold you back. You did the 12 weeks through. And I was just curious if that was because that way you get more people through on the OHIP beds and faster. Because reality is, if you think about it, you break it down, there's 2 OHIP beds on the unit too. So if everyone does 12 week stays minimum, that's only 4 people. That's only 8 people a year that goes through on the OHIP list a year if everyone does exactly 12 weeks. And if people are on weekend, then you get held back, then you actually are there for quite much longer. So you're getting less than 8 people a year. So I was just curious if they have a kind of a not like a basic thing where they don't hold you back unless you're on weight gain, because they get more people through and the numbers go on the list. The wait list is shorter. I don't know, but it's just a pattern that we noticed that people who were on the OHIP bed very rarely got held back unless they were on weight gain. So it was just something we noticed, but I mean, I'm never gonna find out the truth. It's just kind of, my glasses are breaking. Ugh, stupid glasses. Yeah. So yeah, so that was pretty much it. So the vision, I will end up here. So that's a little bit more about Homewood. And thanks for the question. Bye.